Hello. No, 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 no. The right sound, please. Okay. I'll let you in on a little secret. You don't learn languages. You absorb languages. Okay. So in a way, for some aspects, the thing that happens is automatic. Whether you want it or not, you learn your first language. Do you know why? Because first you need it when you are programmed to learn a language as human beings, and everybody around you speaks the language. When you are exposed to the right amount of language, from simple to more complex language, you learn it. You can't help it. You learn it. Obviously, children and babies are not exposed to conferences, high-minded speeches, complex wordings, or other things. They're exposed, and we are, in a way, programmed to do that with babies, to very simple things. For example, you don't speak Greek. Most of you don't. Some people do. But if I say chitarra, trombeta, mia chitarra che mia trombeta, Dio organo, chitarra e chitarra in organo e trombeta in organo. Εγώ παίζω κιθάρα. Τώρα εγώ παίζω κιθάρα. Well, that's the way you learn a language, through simple things, simple objects. Εγώ πίνω νερό. Εγώ πίνω νερό. Εγώ μιλώ. Bla 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 bla. Εγώ μιλώ ελληνικά. Τι κάνετε? Μιλώ Ιταλικά. Come state? Εγώ μιλώ Αγγλικά. How you doing? You start from simple things. You need books and learning material that is geared towards absolute beginners and starts for simple things with pictures, situation, objects, and you move and you build up from this up to more complex language. So when I learned the guitar, okay, this is a tenor guitar. I start from and then when I'm comfortable with this, I can do boo. You move from simple to more complex things. The same way you do with a musical instrument that is, by the way, similar, not in every aspect, but in some. They do have similarities. You do that every day. Okay? So, first thing is being exposed to the language. Okay? It's being exposed to a comprehensible input language that at the beginning is strictly linked to reality, to vision, to hearing, to your sight and to your hearing. I mean, χορδί. Μία χορδί, δύο χορδές, τρεις χορδές, τέσσερις χορδές. Ένα δάκτυλο, δύο δάκτυλα, τρία δάκτυλα. Okay? Εγώ παίζω την κιθάρα με πλήκτρο. So you start for very simple things. When you're comfortable, like when I practice Okay, I move on to something more complicated. How I do it? There are some people who know better and that they wrote methods. It's very important to have a method. That doesn't mean you're learning when it comes to guitar, yes, but when it comes to speaking, you have the method and you build on something with the images, with the audio part, and you move on to the next lesson. You always review the previous ones, and then after a while, when you are comfortable with a slow paced level of speaking and listening, you start now and then insert real life things. It means you start watching nursery rhyme for children, very easy language. There are also some videos that are geared towards English learners. The very important thing that you don't perceive this as a chore. You should associate language learning to having fun. That doesn't mean you just do things haphazard with no rationality. You do things that match interest that you have in the subject at hand with learning the language. Okay, so you start you can buy books for children, and you should not expect immediate high level of improvement. It takes time. Enjoy your ride. If you don't enjoy being a beginner, you'll never be advanced. All those people who are very good at something, at the beginning they were not. Now they all went through the absorbing, I would say learning, some people would say learning, absorbing phase. That is quite, tell you, it's easier to advance when you're a beginner. When you're on a very high level, every little improvement is very, very painful. Okay? It means you are working on your plateau, around your learning capabilities. That's where you have a virtuoso. The virtuoso, or a very good player, is someone who continue learning even when other people will say, "Wow, you're good." They don't think that good is good enough. Okay, but I'm speaking about people who think, "Oh, I don't have a talent." I beg to differ. I read a book and I concur with the gist of the book is talent is overrated. Believe you me, talent is the word people that don't move their asses and do things use to justify being ignorant. I don't have any talent for languages. And all this, that speak 15 languages, it's, I tell you that, and I will insist on this. More than 3 languages is like overdoing. Let's speak out. A language is a culture. A culture is a way of seeing the reality. Okay? First thing, it's easier to speak, to be interested in something different than something similar. So if you speak Italian, don't learn French or Spanish, but learn Korean or Japanese. It's much more interesting, and in the long run even easier, because you don't confuse the 2 languages. You don't make mistakes in Chinese because you just shoot a word thinking, oh well, maybe they say the same way. No, it doesn't work like that. So I would say, unluckily, I'm not speaking English right now, most people are forced by hook or by crook to learn English, and many people don't like English. I was not forced. I like English, but I don't like it when it's used by non-native speakers. I know it's the international language. I don't think it's fair. I think Esperanto is more suited. I think that a lot of English is cannibalizing other languages, and it's making other languages poorer because they all will resort to English. That's my opinion on English. And I am speaking English right now. It's a very rich language, and most people think it's easy. It's not easy at all. It looks easy. It isn't. I speak modern Greek. It looks very difficult. It isn't. So, I'm speaking 3 languages that are Indo-European, so you think they are very different, but the basic structure and the way of organizing grammar and words is very similar, in spite of all the differences. You go learn Korean, Arabic, Japanese, Hungarian, and you will see, oh god damn it, I thought Greek was difficult. These are a nightmare. So some people are scared about difficult languages. Other people go for difficult languages. I tell you something. Before you start learning a language, and I'm using learning, you only hear sounds. You only hear sounds. In the long run, when you really know a language, you don't hear sounds. You just understand meanings. So when you speak English, you say dog and you see a dog. When you learn English, you hear dog and then you think, oh, it's a cane, it's a skili, it's a savaka, it's a perro, it's a cone. You mean this word means what I know having that sound, because in my native language the sound and the meaning are one thing. Okay? In the long run, when you really learn a language, and I would say even after 1 year, basic words should be immediate in your mind, like your native language. So that sounds far-fetched, but when I speak Greek and I use very simple language, and I use quite simple I'm drinking water, pinonero, or bevo acqua in Italian. Well, if I say that in Italian, if I say that in English, and if I say that in Greek, they're all immediate in my mind. In Italian, which is somewhere in the middle, I can say I'm drinking water now, or I drink water now. That in English sounds it's wrong. And in Greek, I only say I drink water now. That's not a progressive form. Why there are so multilingual learners? Multilingual learners learn how to maximize their effort and get the most. They know what is important and what is not important. They develop an ability to reproduce sound, so they don't listen. They don't hear something according to the sounds they already know. So that's why many people hear a in English when it's a, or hear a when it's o, like in cut. They reduce. They have a software that makes everything easier for them, but a little bit difficult for the person you're speaking with, because if you don't have this opposition of sounds, many times you don't understand the difference. So if I say C-U-N-T, which is cunt, is different from can't or can't or can't, the region. That's why many people, oh, English, you pretend, though, you English speakers, not to understand. No, some people maybe do, but for the most part, if you don't pronounce the right vowels with the right sound, people don't understand. So when you learn a foreign language, don't think that a language is just memorizing word and grammar and putting everything together with a minimum of pronunciation. Pronunciation is first and foremost. If you learn with a wrong pronunciation, you're going to have problem as long as you speak that language and you try to understand. So try to, at the beginning, don't go that fast. If I learn Greek, kithara, and you don't move on if you cannot pronounce kithara. Okay, with th. If you're an English speaker, it's easy. Not for an Italian speaker. Or, for example, I mix English with Italian. For example, denine. Some people hear denine. It's the denine. Oh, English speakers have the th and the th, in spite of the fact they write all of them th. But you have other sounds you don't have, like Hano. Exists only in the word loch. Hano to mialomo. Hano. And Kano. You use a lot at the beginning. Kano means do or make, and Hano means lose. So, έχασα, I lost it, το έχασα. Okay? It's very important. And I'm using Greek. Why I'm speaking about Greek? Because I speak about languages that I know. I cannot give you example in Lithuanian. I think that free language is, if you want, really, you want to master a language and know it and be able to speak fluently, you will always make mistakes. You will make mistakes concerning things that are rare, uncommon. And when every mistake you make and somebody corrects you is one mistake less. Okay? So, in a way, if you don't make any mistakes, you're not really learning anything new. The important thing is being in a situation where people can correct your mistakes, and I should make another video about this because there are many things to say. So the gist is, use a method that is quite intuitive, with pictures, with videos, and watch these videos many times, trying to find every time something new, trying to be active, not to be bored. Okay, try to live the language, try to add very simple things that you find on the web and that you like, simple songs. Then you can make the learning not just a book, but, and in time, the non teaching material part will be more and more will develop. Other things, record yourself, check your progress, try to understand, because many times we make mistakes and we understand it as soon as we made them or after a while. Okay, so try to check your mistakes, because it's not only knowing things, is being able to use in real time. Okay, so that's very important. And the more you speak the right pronunciation, the more you ingrain that pronunciation in you, because there's the sound and all the movements we make in order to make that sound. Okay, so I found there are some similarities between learning a musical instrument and learning a language. Not everything. The passive aspect of listening and learning is more important in learning a language. Okay, so you can learn a language even if you don't speak it, but you cannot learn an instrument if you don't play it. Active part is overrated. When you have hours and hours of listening things that you understand, it will be very easy for you to pronounce and to say things the right way. This is the secret I have with Greek, in spite of the fact that I also for English, because I don't live in an English speaking country. Now, if you every day is, I mean, I'm speaking now, but there's nobody that interacts with me in real time. But you know, something you lose, but not very much. Every day, live part of your daily life like you're in the country. You want whose language you want to learn. Okay, I don't know. Like this, I have in English I don't make any effort, because a lot of things that I check on YouTube are in English. Being exposed to different kinds of English makes my English a little bit strange. There's a part of Italian, because I live in Italy. Not much, but we tend, something passes, you know, from one language to the other. There's a British thing, there's the American thing, there's all the other things I watch, an Irish, Australian or New Zealand accent. And you naturally develop your own accent. Being my English quite how do you put it? Composite, complex. It's obvious that the way I speak is not 100% from a certain part of an English-speaking country. Speaking about other languages that don't have, you know, they have dialects, but don't have the 2 official or 3 official standards. It's easier. I mean, it's easier to listen to standard Greek. most of books and movies and TV shows are in Standard Greek. I don't say there's no dialect. Surely there is. You will hear, but you will hear rarely. You rarely watch entire movies with people speaking a very thick form of Greek. That can happen for other languages, I say. But I daily watch things in Greek, so I see always people struggling speaking Greek with a thick accent and sometimes with English. It means their approach is wrong. Okay? If you only read books, you don't listen to the language, you rarely actively speak. You can speak only just making a video. I might make mistakes, I don't learn anything. You learn. Your brain gets in touch with your movements and can check if the sound, your output is similar to what you hear or not through speaking. When your brain hears the right accent, the right intonation, fixes it. Okay, so it's very important also now and then to say the things you want to say. Some people speak English because they think it's international, but I'll tell you that don't think so. There's so much material in English that sometimes my video where I say something Greek get more views than those who are in English. And sometimes use your native language. I mean, more or less there are, if you come from a not so populated country like 10 million people, or you know how think every single person, it's a huge amount of people. You can get in touch with them in their native language. So I'd say, if you want to be fluent, first of all, you have your native language, your second language, and your third language. They will never be on the same level. Okay? The second language can be 98%. Okay, like I'm speaking English now. But your native language, the language you speak every day, let's speak out. Maybe even your native language is not. My grandma was born in Argentina and couldn't speak Spanish because she moved to Italy very young. Say the language you feel native. Okay? Then you have the second language. The language you don't speak in your apartment and you don't speak on the streets, because it's not a language that is spoken around you, but you can speak it very well. And you have the third language that gives you more internationality, feels you like a multilingual, but not so much. I think the right amount of languages is one native language and two foreign languages. And I misuse the word two other languages. Don't feel the other language like foreign. Think it's something you still have to master. That's my advice, and I've been teaching languages for a long time. I don't do it much right now, but I've seen a lot of people learning, and I noticed that the best who didn't actually try to learn a language, the best those who used the language, lived in the country, or used it every day for practical purposes. So try to associate the language you're learning with something that you really need. Okay? So for example, I try to play Greek music and sing Greek music. So not only I learn Greek just for the hell of it. I started in 1984, but for 23 years I didn't speak Greek at all. So I started some 10 years ago. I started again with English, with Greek. Otherwise, I would be a native speaker of Greek if I had to continue. Anyway, so don't try to learn a language you don't really need, just to show off. Well, Cambodian, I mean, you could learn it, but why? I mean, if you like their culture, you want to live there, you have friends, you have some good reason, okay, but just for the hell of it is not. It's not enough. You need a good motivation. I liked Greece. I liked the food. I liked the music. I studied ancient Greek, and it has some appeal to me to see the differences. And then I discovered that I like everything about Greece, except the last years, what they did to them and what they didn't do to react. The same thing goes for Italy in a way. Anyway, it's a long video. Thanks for watching.